Guys, I kind of want to talk about something today that's not necessarily a topic that's going on right now between people. That's usually what I talk about, but I kind of want to talk about white privilege. White privilege doesn't exist, by the way. But I want to talk about white privilege and a lot of these fake ass Twitch streamers that know nothing about the real world that will sit there and tell you, oh, I know, white privilege makes you privileged in society. No, it doesn't. Way back in the 1800s, yes, absolutely it would, because there was a serious, especially in America, because there was a serious problem with slavery and black people in slavery, and you being white would give you privilege. That doesn't exist anymore. What gives you privilege is is money, is if you're born rich or you're born with power, or born into a wealthy family. And that's fine. If you're born rich, you can't help what you're born as. But don't sit there and tell working class people like me, you know what the fuck, I'm privileged because I'm white. Or, you're privileged because you're white. No, I'm not. I've worked 4 jobs before, and I'm not trying to get too specific with things. I worked 4 jobs before while I was on the street, right? While I was an addict. Okay, and that's completely my fault, by the way. Me being an addict, I'm not trying to complain. I put myself in those situations, and I take 100% responsibility for that. But I am not privileged because I'm white, all right? I worked to get where I'm at. I worked my ass off to become where I'm at. I didn't get jobs or get money because of the color of my skin. I had to work for that, which everyone should, and that makes perfect sense. Right? And then I hear these people like Valkyrae and these Twitch streamers sitting there saying, who are unbelievably privileged, by the way, who sit there on their ass all day and do nothing except Twitch streams, and then try to tell people like me, white people like me, that I am privileged because of the color of my skin when they haven't even been through half the shit that I've been through in my life. Absolute bullshit. It is complete bullshit. It is not true. Anyone who tells you that you are privileged because of the color of your skin is just completely lying to you. That does not exist anymore. You're privileged because of the money that you have, and if you worked for that money, then hey, good for you. And even if you're born into that, that's fine. But don't sit there and tell me that you know what my life is like, that you know that I'm privileged because I'm of the color of my skin. Absolutely not. And the funny thing is, they would never say this about any other race. They only say it about white people. That's it. They say it about white people, and they would not be able to get away with saying it saying it about any other race, right? It's absolute bullshit, and I just kind of wanted to come on here and talk about it, because it just annoys me. I hear this stuff all the time, and I'm conservative, by the way, conservative and proud. But this I mean, it is a political thing, because it's only liberals who say this, but this isn't even a political thing. This is like a real world understanding thing. Like, these people know nothing about the real world. They know absolutely nothing about existing and working their ass off to get to the spot where they are, right? And even if you, like I said, even if you are, you don't work to get to the spot where you are, and you do get a lot of privilege, that's fine. Shut the fuck up about it, and stop telling me that I have more privilege than you do because of the color of my skin. It is absolute bullshit, and I'm trying my best not to swear as much, but I just wanted to come on here and talk about that, because it just really annoys me. And QT Cinderella the other day was on stream with someone saying that, and I agreed with what she said, by the way. She was saying that, even though she might have racist people in her family or bigoted people in her family, which I do not stand by that, by the way. I'm not a fan of racist or bigoted people, right? But even though she has those people in her family, she says you shouldn't fight fire with fire. You shouldn't, fight hate with hate. And I do agree with that. Now, sometimes I do think that is necessary, but I do overall agree with that. I don't think that, cutting those people out necessarily. You can tell them, hey, I disagree with you and I don't stand by what you stand by. I don't agree with what you agree with. But, I'm not going to cut those people out or be rude to them either. Right? And that makes perfect sense. I agree with her stance on that. And Valkyrae decided to sit there and be like, and I hate when people say this, right? Sit there and be like, oh, you're privileged. I wanted to sit down and talk with her and let her know that she's, let her know about her white privilege. And it's just like, you can almost hear the voice of the person. It's like this, this fucking condescending voice of the people who actually say that kind of stuff. You can hear it through the text messages or through the tweets, sorry, of what they're saying. And it's just, I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because it annoys me. You know nothing about my life, right? You don't know anything about me. You think because I'm white, I'm privileged. A lot of these people haven't been through, and I'm not trying to sit here and complain. Like I said, a lot of the scenarios that I were in my life, I've got myself in those scenarios. I take full responsibility for that, right? But you know nothing about my life. You think that I'm privileged because I'm white. You are absolutely wrong. And yeah, I just thought I'd come on here and talk about it. So cheers, guys.